Welcome back everybody to the second part of the demo for our Payhawk Odoo integration. In this video, we're going to be covering the expenses from the Payhawk standpoint, how to create one and how that would be translated to our Odoo system. Here, it's important to note that for the demonstration, we're going to be using company cash expenses, even though most likely you would be using the Payhawk credit cards for your employees, but the process for each and every expense is basically the same. So for the demo, we're going to be using company cash. Let's head on to the expenses tab and click on new. As you can see, we have to select the payment method, as we said, company cash for this case, and we simply upload the document of the invoice that we're going to be paying off. Once that's done, we hit on add one expense. Next up is the supplier. As you can see, the system automatically fills in the supplier from our invoice. However, in certain cases, the name on our supplier could be different from the one in the invoice, which could kind of lead the system away, and it could try to add a duplicate of that account. Now, Payhawk always tries to match the supplier to an already existing one. So it's always a good idea to double check your supplier and check if it is under existing suppliers. We move on to the categorization of the expense. Here, the most important field would be the category. This, if you recall, is the expense product from our Odoo Payhawk settings. As you can see, we have an advertising and marketing. Let's select that for now. And down below, we've got further categorization as departments, analytic tags, analytic accounts, projects, location, and the cost center. Let's put some analytic tags, which are automatically synchronized from our Odoo system, as well as the analytic account. Down below, we've got the document information. Here we've got the document date, the service period, document type, and the number of the invoice. The document type, if you can recall, is the main categorization for different document types in Payhawk. They are either an invoice or a receipt, which we have an option to collect in different accounting journals. Next up is the number of the invoice. In this case, I'm just going to change it up slightly, but it's always a good idea to double check if it matches the one on the invoice. Next up is the amount. We've got the paid currency here. In this case, it correctly assumed that it's euro. We've got the tax rate, which we'll leave as 0, and then the total. As you can probably see, the total here is different from the one in the invoice itself. So we have to manually change that. This showcases that it's always a good idea to double check the information that the system automatically fills in so that it matches the one in the invoice. Once we're done with all that, we can hit on submit. Now, in Payhawk, there are different workflows, and usually it would be the employees who make the expenses. They have to submit their expenses, such as that we just showed. And next, it would be up to their supervisors or financial supervisors to review their expenses. So let's say I've already submitted my expense and my boss comes in to review the expense that I've created. Once they've double checked all the information and think that everything is all right according to plan, they hit on review. This is actually the trigger that sends our expense to our Odoo system. So before every expense is reviewed, it doesn't appear in our Odoo system. So my boss checks that everything is all right, hit on review, and our expense has been sent to Odoo. Stay tuned to the next video where we'll go through how this expense that we just created will be generated in our Odoo system. Thanks for watching.